I'm Adam,
I'm Dan.
and we are going to talk about The Dark Tower.
It's been so long since we did one of these that our wardrobe actually just cycled to exactly what we were wearing.
I know.
Last movie. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's totally crazy.
Our cycle's synced up again.
Yeah, like I don't know how it happened. No, but anyway, so yeah, Dark Tower. It's another one similar to the last movie that I was looking forward to from the trailer. Now this one didn't necessarily like give me a different movie than I expected. I was hoping for a little bit better.
Yeah.
Which may spoil how we feel about the movie. But
yeah.
It's not a bad movie by any means. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's just there's some issues with it that keep it from being great. Like, it's a movie about a character called the Gunslinger, right? I will say Idris Elba is probably one of, if not the best parts of the movie.
I'd say he's probably the best part of the whole movie.
Yeah. His performance is very good. And, like, we understand his motivations well enough. To understand the character. I'm sure in the books there's probably much more, but for the movie that we get, we understand him fine. We don't necessarily need much more than that. But like it's a movie about a gunslinger, surprisingly little gunplay in it.
Like this is based off of a series of Stephen King novels, and I am a fan of Stephen King. I have read many of his books, but the Dark Tower series is one I never read. But the Dark Tower kind of shares the same universe as some other Stephen King books, so it's like going into this movie, I at least knew a little bit about the Dark Tower series. I didn't know a lot, but I knew a little bit. But the only thing I could say about this movie, I think the best way to describe this film is wasted opportunity.
Yeah.
Is essentially the best way to describe this.
Because there's a lot of good ideas, and most of them aren't developed enough.
No. You have this world that is essentially a fantasy, sci-fi, western aesthetic.
Yeah.
And they don't utilize either of those three well.
No.
like they try to jam them together and they don't work together that well. And here's the thing is that like this isn't a terrible film.
No, by no means.
Like currently, I just looked it up on my phone. Currently, this is sitting at an 18% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, I don't know what the fuck what they thought they saw, but like this is not an 18% movie.
No, that is.
Like we'll get to our scores
ridiculous.
at the end, but like it's not that bad. Like
No.
that's
like 18. Because it's percent, so it's always out of 100.
Yeah.
18% is like saying it's garbage. It's like you were actively angry to watch it. And, like, it does not deserve anywhere near that level.
I was going to say, that's Alien Covenant's worth
yeah.
the anchor. Like, it's not nearly that bad. I think, like, some good things, like I said, Idris Elba's really good in it.
Mm-hmm.
The character of the gunslinger is interesting, but one of the biggest problems with this movie is they don't follow enough of that character. Meaning they don't explore it enough.
Right, yeah.
Like he's one of the main characters. He's the main character besides the kid that we'll probably get to.
Yeah, they pretty much share main characters.
But he is so interesting in a way, but yet we don't dive any deeper than essentially the surface of him. Like we don't get to go any further into exploring what the gunslingers were and what like they needed to do or what their past is and stuff like that. We get a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, but we get a little bit of some backstory. But like, and again, like, I don't want to sit there and say I wanted this movie to have a shit ton of exposition or anything like that. It's just that when he gives us that little bit of a backstory about what the gunslinger is and like what he has done, that little bit, I'm sitting there going, that sounds much more interesting than what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of plot holes in this movie. There's a lot of stuff that's not explained all that properly, but like the one thing I will say is that a lot of people complain that the movie was hard to follow. It's not hard to follow. No. I get what's going on. They do explain the main stuff pretty well. Like they explain what the Dark Tower is. They explain why the Man in Black wants to destroy it.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. You get that part.
The main threads are plenty easy to follow. So
people who say that they had a hard time following the movie, I don't understand because I had an easy time following the movie and I never read the books. So it's like I completely get what's going on. It's just little stuff like you just mentioned, like why is it that he said he could heal fast, but now he's not healing fast, and why is it that he could like the modern medicine and Earth ended up healing him? Why is it this way? Why? What are the guns? Stuff like that. Where it's like it's just little things aren't really explained that well.
Like,
the kid's name is
Jake.
Jake. Like Jake who's the kid, who's I don't know the actor's name, and Roland, who's Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Like they are essentially the main characters, and they share a lot of screen time together. So essentially, this movie turns into kind of like a buddy film, kind of in a way.
Yeah.
And like they have actually decent chemistry. Like they actually have decent chemistry enough to the point where it's like I could see them like forming this friendship.
Yeah.
And like it's not granted it's not done great, but it is done well enough to the point where I was invested in both of them.
Yeah, like they give it enough time where you see that like, you know, they both kind of start to understand each other.
Yeah.
And they both sort of, you know, like that's why they start caring and whatnot. Like, you know, at first it's very much like it's a kid in a strange world and he's an adult who has the power to protect him. But then, like, you know, over time they learn each other's, you know, weaknesses and strengths and all that sort of thing. And, you know,
to get to the Man in Black.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest problem with this movie is the Man in Black.
Okay, now this is a point that we discussed yesterday. I know we're actually going to differ on.
Yeah. Okay, like the Man in Black, I never read the books, okay, but the Man in Black is essentially Randall Flagg from The Stand. If you've never read The Stand or seen the TV movie The Stand, Randall Flagg was the bad guy. And Randall Flagg is a very colorful-esque character. Like he's intimidating, but he's charming, he's charismatic, and he's like evil. He's essentially like a more level-headed Joker, almost. I would describe him as. Almost. And Randall Flagg in The Stand and The Man in Black and throughout all Stephen King books that he's also shown up is a very interesting, very fun character to read about, and he seems really good. So when they originally casted Matthew McConaughey to play the Man in Black, I was really excited because I thought to myself, you know, Matthew McConaughey can most likely make this role work. And for the most part, he's not terrible. But he's not that character, though. He's not the character that I've known about. He does a good enough job in it, but it just feels like he could have done so much more, is the problem with me.
So the way that we differ here is because you have experience with the books, whereas I really don't read Stephen King.
Yeah.
So, like, I had heard of The Man in Black because I've heard of Dark Tower. You know, like, some information has come to me through osmosis. And, like, I know you've talked about Randall Flagg because you actually love The Stand.
Yeah.
But I knew nothing about him. So what I saw in the movie was, I can only assume and I guess hope that, like, what the director wanted, which was the Man in Black to be very much what you said. He is the Man in Black. No one can touch him. He is like beyond everyone. And I think Matthew McConaughey did a good job of that. Now, compared to the character in the books who is not supposed to be that way, then it probably would be disappointing. But, like, I saw Matthew McConaughey on screen, and he gave off enough of a menace that I was buying it. And he shows up, and, like, he has a little bit of the McConaughey drawl going on, but he, like, a combination of, like, hiding it and then tapping into it just enough so that it sounded, you know, I mean, not like an alien accent, but, like, it sounded just off enough that he was off-putting. And I can understand why people would be intimidated just by hearing him talk. It was a good performance, I think, in that sort of villain that like, just his presence, just his being in a room can can make you uneasy. And I like villains like that, and I think he did a good job of it. And I think some of it taps into, like, the McConaughey charm, is like he puts you at unease. You don't necessarily look at him and, like, think you're gonna die right away. It's not like, you know, oh my god, he's a monster. It's just like there's something there that makes you know he's not right. And I like that. And, like, now we know he wants to destroy the tower. They explain, you know, it's holding back things outside the universe, and those things are bad and evil and just want to destroy everything. And, like, it's not really clear why he wants to let it in, other than he just wants oblivion, I guess. They don't establish that, and then they don't establish, like, why he hates everything. Like, you know, like, I guess maybe the power that he uses, he draws from them. But even then, I'm guessing. Like,
yeah, you know, like they don't really make his motivations completely. Yeah. I mean, they make his motivations clear what he's doing.
Yeah.
But not why he's doing.
Yeah, they make his goal clear. They just don't give us the why.
They just don't give us the why. Here's the thing. I'll name two scenes that involve the Man in Black. I'll name the best scene I think is in the movie involving him is this part where he breaks into the kid's apartment.
Oh yeah, that was my
And
favorite
his
scene.
his
And
the
the
kid's
parents
mom,
show
yeah,
up.
his kids
Yeah.
the kid's mom and his stepdad end up showing up, and he's just in the kitchen cooking chicken.
Yeah.
And they walk in, and he still like looks like not like trying to be menacing, but does come off menacing. Where he's
Yeah.
just like oh, I hope you don't mind. I help myself to some chicken. We don't have this in my world,
Yeah.
you know, stuff like that. And then they just like, what the fuck is this? And then he
Mhm.
said he kills the stepdad and takes the mom and shit like that. Like that scene was really good. And to me, like if they would have had more scenes like that for him, I would have probably liked his performance a little better. The second scene I'm going to mention is when he first meets Jackie. When we first see Jackie Earl Haley's character in the movie, and he comes up to him and he tells him about the portal and the kid, right? And there's nothing wrong with the scene itself, but it's the exchange of words. And when Matthew McConaughey says he defeated a house demon, I can't believe a goddamn word of it, because it just comes off so fucking stupid. Because he's just like, it's not like he brings it up casually too, like he just destroyed a house demon. Jake Rose Hill is like, oh, house demon, like that, and I'm just there going, the fuck's a house demon?
See that goes back to what we were saying earlier. We're like we understand what they're referring to because we saw the scene of the kid in the house and he was attacked by literally the house.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so we know the house demon refers to that, but like they talk because like he says the house demon, but then they're just talking about demons after that. Like the kid is strong enough to kill a demon, that means he's really powerful. And it's like, so what are demons then?
Yeah, what's a house
where
demon?
do they come from? Like, do you control them? Did it just show up in the house and that's why it's abandoned because you guys couldn't kill it? Like, what is this and why? Like, and why are you so casual about it? Like,
I think most of the action scenes are actually pretty good. It's not that they're like shot extremely well or anything like that. They're just decent. They're entertaining, especially the last one where the gunslinger's going through the big compound with all the bad guys and shit like that. Like that one is actually really, really well done. And then like even like the final showdown between him and the Man in Black is pretty good, and like the way it ends is actually kind of unique and shit like that. I actually really enjoyed that. The special effects on the other hand, does leave a little bit to be desired.
Yeah.
Because some of the special effects are actually really good, and some of them aren't that good. Like I mentioned, like the big creature that ends up like breaking through like a rip in their dimensions or something like that, and the one that ends up attacking Idris Elba in the Veil of Night, like just sticks out like such like a big sore thumb because it's clearly CGI and it's not the best quality of CGI, and like. Usually, like, when you have something like that and you film it in the darkness, usually, like, you could hide it a little better. But, like, I don't know if it was, like, the composition of it or something was different, but it just sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. And,
like, it doesn't fit within, like, the world, like the scene and, like, the scenery and all that shit that we're looking at.
And that scene, a movie about a gunslinger, and that's his whole thing is he shoots guns. Like, the gun didn't... Like, up until that final action scene, which was pretty good, the guns didn't feel like they were that powerful or that important. And again, it was like, the Man in Black explains at one point, like, he's basically giving exposition while watching the gunslinger kill a bunch of his men, that, like, you know, he's, like, you know, the guns are made of, like, a mythical metal, like, for some reason connected with King Arthur. They don't explain that either. And like they're made from the metal of his sword of Excalibur, and it's like, okay, that's cool, but I'm not getting the significance. Like you know, the things he's doing with the guns are cool, but like they don't feel like mythical weapons. They're not like these satisfying, you know, engines of destruction. He's just pointing and shooting.
Because essentially, this movie is essentially two fish out of water stories.
Yeah.
Because first the kid goes in the midworld, and then later on the kid brings Idris Elba's character to Earth, to our world, and essentially in both of those cases you get the fish out of water story. But with Idris Elba, you get the comedic version of that. Because it's essentially Idris Elba not understanding what some stuff is. Like, my favorite part, like there's the part where, he gives Idris Elba the painkillers, and he just takes them all at once. And he
Yeah.
gives him a soda. He goes, "What's this?" And the kid's like, "That's sugar." And he sips it, and then like he gets off the bus. Like after a few minutes, he goes like, like these things work great. You know, I
Yeah.
haven't felt this good in years. You know, like, and then like. He goes into a gun store and you just see his eyes light up because he sees all these guns because I guess in their
in his
world,
guns and bullets are rare.
are rare, and he sees the commercial with the talking raccoon and he asks the kid like, do animals still talk in your world? And then he's like, what? No, it's a commercial. And the kid's like, wait, still? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. And it was like it was one of those things where it's like, I don't know if I hate this or I wish they would have made more of the movie like this because those scenes, even though dumb, were entertaining though. Like they were pretty funny, and it's just funny to see Idris Elba act serious, but yet like not know what a coke is and stuff like that. I don't know. There's something appealing. The only other thing I'll mention in the movie that is a big negative is they essentially wasted Jackie Earle Haley. Yeah. Because he's in the movie. He's only in the movie for like, I don't know, maybe a total screen time of like 10 or 15 minutes or some shit. And like they give nothing for him to work with. No. He's essentially, it's like you could have just got any fucking stooge to play this character and it would have been fine. And I remember they got a great actor like Jackie Earle Haley and they didn't give him anything to work with.
And I remember we were discussing, it felt like partly because of who they cast, partly because of little things that you notice in the movie, like maybe he was supposed to be more important, but either they cut it out or they just decided not to include it.
Yeah, like he seems like he should have been a bigger deal.
So, I mean, it's like I said at the beginning, it's not a bad movie by any means. Like, I'm not sitting here, I'm not angry, I'm not upset, I'm a little disappointed because I was hoping it would be, awesome, but, it's not like I was sitting here expecting, I had no connection to it. I don't care that it wasn't as good as I was hoping. And, ultimately, it's probably forgettable. I'm sure, I'm glad we did this the day after we saw it. Because I'm sure if it goes much longer, I won't remember too much about it. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means it's average. It's mediocre. It's, it's passable. And I would give it a 6. Not enough to, like, make it sound like a bad movie, but not enough where you need to go out of your way to see it.
Yeah. I feel roughly the same. Yeah. It's not... It doesn't earn the 18% that it has on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. It's just an okay film. Yeah. Like I said, like Idris Elba's really good in it. His relationship with the kid is very good. I did enjoy that. I enjoyed the idea of the world. Some of the action scenes were really good. Matthew McConaughey to me was a disappointment, not in his performance per se, but just like I just felt like there wasn't enough for him to work with. They completely wasted Jackie Earle Haley, and there was a lot of stuff you can definitely nitpick about this movie. There's a lot of stuff that they should have or could have at least went into a little bit more. The movie's only a little more than an hour. A little more than an hour and a half, and I think this is a movie that probably could have been benefited from being like a 2.5 hour movie. So maybe. For me, I'm gonna also give the movie a 6 out of 10. It's not good enough for me to give it a 7 to say yes, I think you should go out and spend your money on going to see it. But it's at least a little bit more above average to the point where I can't give it a 5 either. Right, yeah. Like I said, there is actually good stuff in the movie. It's just that some stuff just isn't executed very well. So for that, yeah, I agree. I'll give it a 6. So to recap, our score is 6. Yeah. Not really. Nothing to write home about, but nothing that you should really get upset about. Yeah, I just don't know exactly what we'll be back with. Hopefully next week, Wind River will get a wider release and it'll be playing around here. We'll be back with that. Yeah. So that's going to do it for us. Please thumbs up this video if you like it. Please subscribe to our channel if you want to see more reviews. And please leave a comment and let us know what you thought about The Dark Tower. Maybe you could shed some more light on it if you are a fan of the books. Maybe if you're a fan of the book, maybe you liked it a lot more than we did. Maybe you hated it. Maybe you thought it wasn't accurate enough to the books or something. I don't know. But let us know what you think. Till then, we'll be back. See you later.